What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of All Things Super. I am one of your hosts, Spider, and that lens over there is Mr. VIP
the
Frankie Washington. How
the
you doing
incredibly
today, sir?
close.
It's an extreme close up.
Yeah. Sometimes you gotta get all up in there. Like, what y'all doing? What y'all doing on the other side of the screen?
Looking into your
Close
soul.
that door. Wow, that's some dark vengeance, spirit of vengeance type stuff.
Listen, you got to peer into a person's soul to truly understand who they are.
But then they burn.
We're going to talk about that in a minute. How are you doing today?
Ooh, we said too much.
Yeah, we said too much. My internet is wigging out today, but hopefully we can get through the recording without too many issues.
Oh well, one of the staples of this show is that anything could happen
That
at
is very
any
true.
given point in time.
That is very true. But tell the people one more time how you feeling.
I am the magnificent, most infinitely awesome Mr. VIP Frankie Washington.
There
I
you
am,
go.
huh?
I said, there you go.
There you go. How are you, sir? How are you doing?
I'll be doing a lot better once my internet evens out.
Well, you got to massage the kinks out. Don't do nothing strange.
Pull the cables.
They charge extra for that
So
strange
make
stuff.
sure I don't pull the cables out.
Ooh, tell the kids earmuffs.
Why?
Pull that cable out. That cable. Hey, that cable. That cable.
Yeah.
Okay, if I have to explain it, it's not as good. So I'm gonna just leave
I'm
it at
completely
that.
lost on that one. I don't know.
For those who get it, they got it.
Let us know in the comments if you understood that reference.
Pull that cable out and make that connection. That's how you get Wi-Fi.
Wi-Fi is
Earmuffs, kid.
cableless. Wi-Fi is over the air, wireless.
Right.
So no cable.
Came from a cable at one point. Don't you need an Ethernet connection? Don't you need an Ethernet?
An Ethernet connection, that's cable. That's wired internet. Wi-Fi is
Pull it
wireless.
Pull it out.
Anyway, this is All Things Super, where every week we take a piece of superpowered movie, TV show, even trailers. We watch them, we react to them, we break them down, we review them, and we answer the question, is it super?
Shazam! Is it Shazam?
Is it Shazam? It's Shazam.
Is it?
But we're gonna answer the question. Is it super? But if you like that, click on the bell so you can be notified. But subscribe to the channel first, then click on the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on any of your major podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to join in on the conversation, just tweet at us at ATSuperPod.
And we like reading the comments in that order.
And we like
in that order.
In that order.
Click the dots and
subscribe,
hit the bells and
hit the bell.
Comment and
follow us on your podcast streaming platform. Tweet at us. Then leave a comment. You got some homework to do.
This is one of those episodes where it's your favorite one. If the other episode was your favorite episode, this one's your next favorite.
This one's gonna take over. It's gonna be the top of the top.
If not, it's right underneath the top. Because sometimes you got to have a strong support foundation.
I feel like we have a strong foundation of episodes.
Yeah, goddamn right.
We are rapidly approaching our 100th episode. Or I should say our 100th. I think we're already close to 100 videos. But some of them unfortunately didn't make the channel. YouTube is kind of finicky about it. It's copyright.
What the hell?
Yeah, we had some trailer reactions that didn't make it to the channel because they got blocked because of copyright reasons.
Why?
Because of copyright
reasons.
Yeah.
We didn't copyright anything. Which ones didn't make it? I can tell
y'all. The fan requested trailer reaction that we did for Python, that one got blocked. That one didn't make it, which that I was kind of upset. Well, the ones that didn't, both of the ones that didn't make it, I was upset about because there were two that I felt like were really strong episodes. We had real good conversation with them. But Pathan got blocked, didn't make it, and Across the Spider Verse, that trailer reaction got blocked.
God damn!
Yeah.
What the hell? Those are the ones. You know what? I'm not even surprised about Spider-Man.
But I will say
Spider-Man
this.
Go on the little boy tombstone.
I will say this. If you have Spotify, if you go to Spotify does allow video. So if you missed our video on YouTube, you can go to Spotify and watch a video there. So the Across the Spider-Verse trailer reaction is on Spotify.
It's over there.
You can head over to Spotify and go look for it. Just search for All Things Super on Spotify. Look for the logo.
It's free.
That way. Look for the logo. Look for the logo. Find the logo. You'll find us.
Okay, I thought you were frozen.
So
I was like, man, he's serious about the
logo. I mean, if they only catch that and they just see me doing this, that's brand recognition.
Right there. Logo.
It's everywhere you look. Top, bottom, left, right.
Just look for us. Type in ATS and enjoy the ride.
There you go.
Shazam! trying to get the power of God on this motherfucker.
But if you don't already realize, we're going to be reviewing what year? 2019's Shazam. In preparation for the release of this week, coming out March 17th. Shazam, Theory of the Gods. So we rewatched Shazam. It's really been since 2019 since I've seen this movie, but we're rewatching it. So we're going to review and we're going to talk about it and talk about what we're anticipating leading up into Shazam, Theory of the Gods.
The original Captain Marvel.
Sir.
Who had to change his name due to copyright reasons. So how funny are we talking about copyright?
Not that they had to. I think that they kind of just let it go. I think that from what I read up on, I think that they didn't really want to get into the argument because there was like not only Marvel, because everybody knows about the Marvel version of Captain Marvel. But there were also a couple of other comics back in the 60s, I believe, where their character used the name Captain Marvel.
That was the thing.
It was like, you know what, we're not even going to worry about it. They already talked about the different powers, the wisdom of Solomon, the strength of Hercules, and all that other kind of stuff. So let's just call him Shazam.
Shazam! He's a gumbo.
You just don't even worry about it. Like, y'all can have Captain Marvel, y'all deal with that name battle and all this other kind of stuff. We're going to just call him Shazam and we'll be done with it.
Yeah, Michelle Obama said when they go low, you go... You get high. You get high.
No, I think they say you go high. You go high.
You get low.
Yeah, when they go low, you get low. Drop to the flow.
When they go low, drop them dollars. I don't remember the quote exactly.
Let's call up Michelle Obama and see exactly what she said. Get on the phone.
She'll return my calls, and rightfully so.
Picture with her once.
Good.
I got a picture with her once. Yeah, she was at an event for Hispanic Heritage Month. They were doing an event honoring like a lot of Latino influential people here in the city of New Orleans. And so she was like the keynote speaker there. I shouldn't have, but one of the guys that was in my unit, he was being honored at the event, and so I was there accompanying him as his photographer. So
there you go. How she smell?
I didn't get that close.
Okay, I bet she smell amazing.
I don't doubt it. I don't doubt it. But the Secret Service wasn't gonna let me get that close.
Well, no. not really, no. But I'm certain she smell amazing.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But we digress.
I just want to get close enough to her to whisper in her ear and say, Shazam.
We saw in the movie that's kind of dangerous. If you got the powers, you say Shazam right next to somebody, you're gonna electrocute the hell out of them.
You noticed that, huh? Ain't that some shit?
I also noticed that he did it in the house a couple times. So They got
It left
holes
holes.
in their roof that
Holes in
never
this
got
house.
discussed.
Holes in this house. Yeah. Like you go come in there and you look up and you're like, what is happening?
Also, what was never discussed was we saw, and of course, we already jumping right into the movie. So if you haven't seen it, it's been 4 years at this point, or almost 4 years at this point.
Hey,
So
grow up. Shazam.
but
Instant adult.
but when Billy and Freddy, or Shazam and Freddy, were exploiting Shazam's powers and
exploiting?
Yes, they were exploiting. They were exploiting. They were robbing ATMs. They were doing illegal shit.
Yeah, he is not a hero.
No, but when they came back, they had, I don't know what game like system they had, but they had gaming system. They had TVs. They had comic books. They had all kinds of this stuff.
Like an iMac. They had all kind of stolen.
Did the parents?
They paid for it.
They paid for it, but they stole the money.
Yeah.
But did the parents not see that? Because he got in trouble for skipping school, and they were in his room.
Hey man, come on, you know how it is. You know, hey.
Did they just like when they left the house?
You want to be mad at me?
They just
or you want
shoved
this
it all
MacBook?
in the closet. They shove it all in the closet every time they leave the house.
You can be mad at me, or you can get this iPod Shuffle.
Oh,
Which one you want?
You get this 70-inch TV, or you want to talk to me about skipping school?
Right.
But to be honest, you saw the size of that house. I don't think they was hurting for money.
No,
that was a huge house.
These kids were fostered, right? They're foster kids, so the city or the state cut them a check.
Yeah, but even still, you got 5 kids running around the house. 7 of them.
Yeah, they got 7 of them.
5 of them.
They had Billy. They had
Billy, Freddie, Pedro, Eugene, Darla. It was 6, and Mary. So it was 6 of
them. Okay.
Yeah, maybe just like Shazam. Shazam. 6 gods, 6 kids.
Shazam.
Goddamn.
But I'm saying that's a check for each of them.
Yeah.
So,
but you still also have to spend the money on the children.
Who's saying that there wasn't? We're not coming.
I'm not saying that they're not, but I'm just saying that they seem like they were doing all right for themselves because they had a really nice house.
Yeah,
but then Thaddeus came in there and called it a shithole.
Yeah, that's so disrespectful. He was a villain.
He was a villain. But I mean, he kind of was. He was kind of raised that way. Just the beginning of the movie, you got your family immediately shitting on you because he's in the car and he's shaking the 8 ball, and his dad yelling at him. He's like, "I told you no toys at Grandpa's house." They're like, "Well, shit, I could just leave it in the car." They're like, "What difference does it make?"
Technically, that's not a toy. Clearly,
right?
Plot device. That's what it is. You didn't say don't bring a plot device,
right? But so his dad starts chastising him about the 8 ball. Then his brother takes it and he's like, "Dad, he took my 8 ball. You can't go crying at somebody else every time you need help." I was like, "Just tell him to give me my shit back."
Yeah.
So his brother's being a dick to him, and then so he gets pulled into the Rock of Eternity, and the wizard is like, "I need a champion. I see that the whole world is turning its back on you pretty much, and I just need to know if you're pure of heart." Then the Sins start tempting him, and he's like, "Oh shit, what is this?" He's gonna touch it,
right?
And then the wizard's like, "You'll never amount to anything. You'll never be good." Like, never, really?
God damn, wizard! Like, first of all, what you was doing in here by yourself with your world moving? I want to know what's going on in this goddamn rock.
I want to know.
I ain't touching the walls. I ain't touching nothing in here.
Why? Because, and this is after we've already seen Black Adam, which they had to retcon some stuff that happened in Shazam, or they're going to end up retconning some of the stuff. But we know why he's alone, because Teth Adam, Dwayne Johnson, came in and murked the wizard's whole family because he was mad because his son got killed.
I can understand that. And you
But
know what?
they said in this movie that after he did that, he ended up releasing the seven deadly sins across the world, which we never saw in Black Adam.
No, because he was an anti-hero
He was
villain guy, bad.
he was an anti-hero, but he wasn't a
Yeah,
hero.
no
He
door
said
user.
many times in the film that I'm not a hero. I'm not a hero. Heroes don't kill. Well, I do.
That contradicts everything you just said, dude.
But but so but why? Because even back then, when it was the six wizards in the Rock of Eternity, they got Teth Adams' son to be their champion. Now they're trying to get Thaddeus to be the champion. They ended up getting Billy to be their champion. Why are they going after kids?
Yeah, it's kind of like Star Wars and the Jedi that they keep taking these kids away from their families.
Mm-hmm.
Like, what's just real, real pedophilic. Yeah, I don't understand why we're going after these kids. Like,
Right.
they can't be nobody else.
Like
When you see it in a,
I guess because children are supposed to be pure of heart. I guess no adults can
when
be
they
pure of
seen
heart.
all those doors, right? All
Yeah.
those doors, I instantly started thinking about Monster Inc.
No,
They had all those
absolutely.
bedroom closets.
Yeah.
It gave me real creepy Monster Inc. vibes, and the fact that there were monsters on the other side of them doors just go to let you know that all the champions didn't have to be human.
Right. And I didn't even remember that part. I didn't remember that from the first time I watched Shazam. I must have just blanked on that. Another thing that I didn't remember, and I must have left the theater immediately after the credits started. I don't remember the mid credits and the post credits scene when I went to the theater and saw Shazam.
Are you serious?
I am so serious. When I watched it yesterday, I was like, "Oh shit!" There was a post credit scene.
Yeah.
Never even knew.
Now that evil moth is in the comics. He is actually a super genius,
Caterpillar.
almost caterpillar.
Yeah.
Sorry, you're absolutely right. With the little speaker box.
Yeah.
His voice box.
Mr.
By the way,
Mind.
if you just crush that box, you can't communicate with him at all.
The thing about it is he's telepathic, so he really doesn't need the voice box. I guess it's maybe a translator. But I mean, even if you're telepathic, you should be able to telepathically talk to somebody in their own language.
Makes sense, right?
Look, he's a caterpillar. He's a caterpillar from Venus. Nothing about it is going to make sense.
Oh man, so he was trapped in there as well because you seen in the beginning of the movie he was in this box.
Yeah, he was in a glass
when
case.
He came back out again. He had got released, and then he shows up again at the end of the movie saying that we're gonna do so much damage, but at the same time, we went a totally different direction with Black Adam.
Yeah,
like
Shazam
was one of the same.
DC's problem. I said that's DC's problem. There was no
Shazam
continuity.
Was one of the saving graces of the DCEU. Yes,
right.
I said EU because I'm talking about the old DC. And they could have built on top of that.
I really thought they were planning on it because Mr. Mind was like, "We have big plans and we're gonna conquer the 7 realms." And it's like, okay, now we're expanding the universe, kind of like what they did with Marvel, and we're talking about all these different areas and everything. And then
Jotunheim and the Elf World and
the Elf World. What was it? Jotunheim, Muspelheim, Alfheim.
A lot of Heims.
Yeah, a lot of Heims. But yeah, and they dropped that little nugget, and then they just never went back to it.
It made zero sense why you would abandon something like that. Listen, when you get this kid terrorized his whole life, had an accident, and then probably terrorized even more so because his father lost the ability to use his legs.
Mm-hmm.
Terrorized by his brother. He dedicated his whole life interviewing people to see their experiences, to find out what did he miss, what can he learn,
to get back to where he was.
Get back to where the wizard's at. And then I don't know how he was funding her research in a sense, the doctor, because what research are we looking for in the fact that we're interviewing people about this wizard?
They said it was something that were supposed to be like researching bouts of mass hysteria. Like people who thought they were going crazy because they saw these symbols, because they talked to this wizard, and of course nobody in their life believed them. And so when they find out that there are a group of people who had the same shared experience, Then it was like, oh, okay, well, maybe I wasn't crazy. But and you're right. This had to be years and years of research to amass all of these different people that had the same shared experience about talking to the wizard. And after so much, you have to think as a scientist, as somebody who's researching all of these events, what's the end goal, right? You have to ask yourself, what is it? Right. Like, you're researching. Oh, I'm researching the cure for cancer. I'm researching the cure for the common cold. This is where we're trying to get to. If he's never divulged what it is they're researching this for, we're just researching mass hysteria. It's like, what are we trying to? Are we trying to cure mass hysteria? Like, what is it that we're trying to do? And that was never
too late
revealed.
to answer that question. We got to move on. Now the door is here because we done recorded this other event, and now he done found the answer to, or the key component. He saw a sign or a symbol that he had not previously seen. Scribbled it on this door.
Well, it wasn't that he saw a symbol. He realized because the woman that they were talking to, she had a video of it, because she said she don't remember any symbols, but she remember her like alarm clock glitching out. And so what he noticed was that it was the symbols, but the symbols repeated 7 times. And so he didn't realize that, so he wrote the symbol 7 times on the door. And what I don't understand is the
doctor. She touched the door and disintegrated.
She touched the door and just disintegrated, let out this banshee type scream, and then he touched the doorknob. He just got shocked a little bit. He had a little static electricity, like ooh,
right,
ooh.
Well, here's the answer to that, Spider. Here's the answer to that. Handles are important. But you touch the door frame or the door itself.
Use the doorknob. The doorknob is there for a reason.
Look, it makes so much sense now. This is why Black Adam didn't use doors. Because he seen somebody get disintegrated. So he's like, that will happen to me.
Fuck all that. I'm just start busting all the doors.
The Kool-Aid Man ain't got shit on me, Black Adam. Oh, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that does make sense. That makes sense. That tracks.
You got to look for the details.
But
now he's in this area where he's looking.
Before we get to the sins getting loose, what I want to know is Thaddeus went into the Rock of Eternity when he was a kid. Now, this was back in 1974. Then the wizard said, I'm aging, my magic is getting weaker, I'm not going to be able to contain the sins forever.
Right.
When he got tempted to touch I guess it was called the Eye of Sin or whatever, the Orb of Sin or whatever he was about to touch. And the wizard shocked him and banished him out, saying, you'll never be good enough.
Get out of here.
The statue started to crack, right? It was like, oh, your power is weakening, you're not going to be able to contain us. This was, if we're in real time, from 1974 to 2019. You tell me that he's trying to get all of these people to be the champion, and none of them were the champion. And the Sins didn't get out on their own. His magic was holding it up that strong for that long.
Yeah, he was weak, but
he wasn't that weak.
But he wasn't that weak. Strong, but he ain't that strong.
It just seemed weird to me. It was like, well, I'm thinking like this is the immediate, like we need to get on this right now. I need to find somebody. He was like, I need to find my next champion, no matter how long it takes. And yeah, it took a long ass time. But then the thing about it is, when Billy came in, he was like, "You're my last hope. I don't have any other choice." So like, why did you have to stop at him? Obviously, you have been holding it down for this long, but you can't hold it down no more.
He can't hold it down no more. You know how when you got to go to the bathroom and you really got to go, and you think like, man, I can hold it. And then when you're on your drive home, you're like, I can't hold
round
it
that corner when you get down the street from your house. You
and
good
you see
the
like
whole
a
way.
McDonald's. You don't want to go to that McDonald's, but it's your last option.
Yeah.
It's either that or you about to have a shitty situation.
Oh man.
So you go to the Mickey D's. Billy Baxter was Mickey D's in
like,
the
look,
situation.
This is all I got left.
Exactly. Because he already said he's not a good person. He said he's not an honorable kid. He said he's not I'm not what you're looking for.
Right.
I'm telling you, I'm not what you're looking for. The other one, he's like, oh, you cast out, you'll never be good enough. He like came in the gate. Dude, you got the wrong
like
dude.
You looking
I
at the
just
wrong
stole
kid.
a cop car. I mean, stole a don't. I thought he was gonna steal a cop car.
He was close enough. I also have a question about that. How did he get into the pawn shop? There was nobody else in the pawn shop.
Hey, ain't got time for that. So now that we
like, you at a pawn shop by yourself, you call the cops, tell her, oh, somebody's robbing the pawn shop. They get in the pawn shop. He's like,
so
yeah,
I wouldn't break into the computer.
Just so you can get to their car and go search for who you think is your mom.
Is that like genius, or is that
that's incompetence on the cops' part? I know that for a fact.
I don't think Philly PD like that at all.
He stole a man lunch,
and
that's what was messed up. That was the messed up part about it. It was like, it was bad enough you didn't trap them inside the pawn shop, and then you jumped in their car to hack into their computer, but then you stole a man lunch.
How did he get out the pawn shop? Oh yeah,
well, they call for backup. Yeah, they call for backup.
Yeah, that's true.
Can you imagine what happened when
he was going because he left
it on? Yeah, he left it on the computer. But can you imagine what happened when that backup got there? It's like, now, before they even let him out the game, they're just standing there like, all right, run it back by me again. Tell me what happened. Like, this kid trapped you in a pawn shop, hopped in your car, hacked into your computer, stole your lunch, and
that's the hurtful part. He probably did eat that man fries.
Oh, absolutely. Too. Because he was walking. You know, he got hungry on his walk. Who knows how far his walk was?
Goddamn shame. Now, I understand you're trying to meet your mom because as a child, as a toddler, you got abandoned at a playground, at a fairground, at a carnival.
Yeah.
Right? The fair, let's call it that. So you got abandonment issues. I got you. But at the same time, he does not go to jail for this.
No.
He goes back to the home. I don't see Apollo Creed son got
sent to juvie.
I'm just saying that we go, hey, I don't know what universe this is, but okay, Superman got things kind of lax around here. It wouldn't happen in Gotham.
No. Gotham would have put his ass back out on the street probably.
That's a daggone shame. So trying to understand this movie, I really am. I understand.
There's a lot of decisions that were made in this movie that I have so many questions. One of the things where we saw Thaddeus when he was a kid reaching for the ice, and the wizard was like, "Don't do that." He took the staff, went, don't touch that, and like zapped his hand.
Yeah.
But then when he was an adult, he just let him grab it. Like, this man is still a human. He waited until after he absorbed all the damn spirits to try to attack him. Like, he has the power of the 7 deadly sins like, now.
Not yet. Let him get it.
Right.
Let him get it. Like, man, you could have just stopped him when he was man
got a blue marble in his eyeball now. You're like, I'm trying to get you. You know you weak. Why attack him while he's a human? Slam the hell out of that wizard.
Nothing, you weak for. Like, how you gonna come in here and just say things? And then leave the cave. Like, you just wait for somebody to come in there. Why don't you go find a champion on your own? Like, you lazy as shit.
Yeah, he was just in there.
Like, go out there. Hey, Squid Games had a guy. He used to just test people out. You know what I'm saying? We play the game, we lose the game, end up on the island.
Mm-hmm.
You could have found somebody. No, you go sit there with your robe.
Yeah.
Here's the thing I was talking about. I was like, when he had people come to the Rock, right? Come to the Rock of Gibraltar, or whatever.
The Rock of Eternity.
When they came to the Rock, I noticed something.
Mm-hmm.
His hair was all permed down and straight. He had that beard lined up. When your boy came back as an adult, he called him slipping. That hair was all over the place.
Because he wasn't. Because the thing about it was,
I wasn't ready for a company.
Right, he wasn't expecting company. He didn't send for nobody, so he would just sit down. He like, I'm just chilling. I ain't get myself together yet. Hold on. That's why he was mad.
When Billy came in, that perm was set in right. Dog. I was like, look at him.
You got to get a man time to prepare. You got to get his head in before he invites somebody to the rock.
But I need you to stop.
He went in that the door with the alligators playing cards. He was like, "Hey, y'all need y'all to line me up real quick."
Oh man, this is okay.
Oh god.
No, he did not do anything to try to stop him from taking the eye. Now we got evil unleashed upon the earth. Now here's the thing: we want the power of the champion,
right?
But you didn't even know the champion exists.
No.
The Sins had to tell you afterwards. But this was when you was already out seeking revenge on your family. So what was the plan anyway? Obviously to release the 7 sins upon the world.
Right.
But why we couldn't do that? Like,
because
okay, we take a little detour and go
after the champion. Right. Go get your vengeance on your family. Like the Sins basically like, we'll allow you to do that. But then after that, we're gonna enact our plan and we're gonna like basically destroy the world. But when he's giving his evil monologue. But first, let's talk about this. He goes up to his dad and his brother in the boardroom and everything.
Slung the shit out of his brother, didn't he?
That if nothing else, if he did nothing else awesome in that movie, and shout out to Mark Strong, because Mark Strong is an amazing actor, and I love his work.
Lived up to his name in that scene.
But he gave him the 8-ball. He tossed the 8-ball to him. He was like, "Ask him if you can kick my ass." Like, ask the 8-ball if you can kick my ass. And he just took him and just slung his ass out the window. No remorse. No remorse.
Getting the Deadpool treatment. It went colossal. Sideways in the most colossal fashion.
Oh my god, that was probably one of the most brutal things that I've ever seen a villain do in a movie. And then just unleash the sins on everybody else. And I thought he was too, but he saved him for last. And I'm pretty sure he's probably dead anyway. But the receptionist at the front desk going there, it was like the length of time that it took for him to get up, because they had been screaming for a while. He had already broke 2 or 3 windows. Yeah, and it's like, I know he pushed a little privacy button, but I know it ain't drown everything out. He had to have heard all of that. But so
to hope for the best, and then you realize once you see them bodies hit that glass, that little temporary glass, just like, I'm gonna go ahead and resign. Yeah, and walk on out. Y'all could mail me my check. Because I don't want no part of what's going on in there. They all trying to get out and can't get out.
Probably know one day he was glad he wasn't an executive.
Should have called off. Should have called off that day.
But yeah, so I guess while all of that was happening, that's when Billy was getting his power. So that's when the Sins realized, okay, well, the wizard has found his champion. So there's one person that can destroy you. So it's like, okay, well, now we got to deal with him.
Let's look at the whole story of it. Okay, so it's champion versus champion. Right. The wizard have to find their champion, the evil has to find their champion.
Which they also did in Black Adam, kind of, because Black Adam had the powers of Shazam, and then the Upside Down, wherever they were in Black Adam, they turned into the devil that was their champion, so they had to fight in the end.
And he ripped them in half. Yeah. He ripped them in half. Spoiler warning for Black Adam. I spoiled it for you.
I mean, we already talked about that. Go back and watch Black Adam. I gotta say,
there's no spoiler warning for Shazam, but if you ain't seen Black Adam and you in Shazam, he got ripped in half. You ain't missing much. Somebody getting ripped in half. The epitome of the Rock pulling the helicopter down.
Telling the man in black suit.
Which side you want to tell? Because he ripped it. He came tall. Okay. So you're absolutely right. So now the champion, they fight against each other, right?
Mhm.
Somewhere along the line, the idea of surrender your power to me because you're a kid, you don't know how to wield this power. I'm gonna take this power from you, give it in. This is our motivation.
Pretty much, yeah.
Where did we establish that we could do that? Where did the sin say, hey, go get him and take his power?
Not just kill him, take his power.
Take his power. Like, he has to surrender it to you.
Right.
So where do we get that information?
Off screen. That's it. That's the only.
we ain't got time for that. So we're moving on to Billy is now not finding his mother because a young African American queen opens the door.
That
and
was
like,
funny as hell.
Yeah, I don't think I'm your.
He was like,
I think I'm your mom.
He knocks on the door and is like, I don't know how to say this, but I think you're my mom. And she opens the door. She's like, are you sure about that?
Are you sure? Like, nah, I think I got the wrong house.
Might be the wrong woman.
So Billy is now sent back to the foster program, and now he's getting the last chance to be adopted by, this lovely family.
Well, not even necessarily adopted, but just living in a group home.
Fostered.
Yeah. Being fostered home.
So he's now brought in to this lovely family. He gets to see his
new foster siblings,
sisters and brothers, foster siblings, and immediately becomes a dick. Not to mention he was kind of a dick before.
Yeah.
And we clearly established that, but he's more so of a dick to them. Again, not the most traditional superhero story.
No.
Interesting, I'm still going with it. But he's a dick to almost everybody there till he kind of sees his sister that he kind of likes and she's going to college. And, he's 14, Rick and Morty. He's 14. So, those hormones are working.
Yeah.
But he doesn't make a move on her sister, but he is kind of curious. He goes to school. And he's thinking about
before they go to school, they bring him up to his room and he's sharing a room with Freddy. And I remember when the first time I saw the movie, I was like, okay, Freddy, he's a comedy, he's a comic relief, fast talking, wisecracking. Like he immediately goes in there, he's talking about, he's limping because the dad, Victor, pushed him out the window. He says it gets real Game of Thrones in here. And it was like, no, I'm just kidding. I actually have stage 3 cancer. I got like 3 months to live. It was like, when I was in the movie, I was like, oh, haha, that's kind of funny. He's kind of fucking with him, just trying to like ease the tension, like, try to make friends or whatever.
Right.
On rewatch, like, kid's kind of annoying. I was like, I think the speed at which he was talking, it was just like, he's talking. And he kind of, goes into it when they're having an argument later on in the movie. But basically, he's talking, he makes jokes in order to be noticed so that people don't pay attention to his disability. And people try not to be awkward around him or judge him or look at him sideways because he's different. And so it's like, I can understand it, but the actor himself played it extremely well because that was the part that he was given. But I just feel like the direction and the script writing in that was just, I don't know. It reminded me of the kid.
A lot of questionable decisions.
It reminded me of the kid in Black Adam and how annoying he was. It was like, just shut up for a second.
There's a certain niche about these annoying kids because remember we watched The Samaritan, and that was the same thing. Yeah. An annoying little kid, kind of all in your ear with the yeah, and you just want to Shazam, Shazam, get closer to me, Shazam, goddamn, back up, you're too close. Just not kill him, but just have that force knock him down.
Right, just knock him back a little bit.
Get back, give me 50 feet, dude. I'm new.
Yeah.
You don't know me like that. I go crazy, dude. You don't know me. But Billy Billy Baxter's a dick.
Yep.
He steals Freddy's Superman bullet because he was gonna sell it. to try to run away. Um, Clearly not a hero. And again, he says this.
Yeah,
He
he's like,
says as
I'm not a
such.
good person.
I'm not a good person. But you know, since the wizard on his last leg, releasing that life energy in that cave by itself, yeah, hey man, I could send you away, but that means I have to go find somebody
Right.
else. So you all I got.
I ain't got the energy to try to. I ain't got the energy for somebody else.
Right.
So I'm
Nobody else ain't coming here. And immediately he demands something, say my name. Like Destiny's Child.
like, I don't even know
Billy
your name.
like,
I don't even know your name,
your
dude.
name, dude. Like, gotta keep it moving. Say my name, Shazam. What? Oh, just say it? Like, how you want me to say it? Just say it? Shazam! All of a sudden he got
And then even the wizard, was being an asshole to him. He was like, say my name so my power may flow through you. He was like, but I don't know your name. He's like, Shazam. And then granted, Billy being a dick, he was like, seriously, that's your name? He's like, say it. He was like, okay. But how do you want me to say it? Just say it? And he just kind of looked at him like, God damn, you can just say my damn name.
Yeah, well, he was making it sound real pervy in that cave. You know what I'm saying? It's like, say my name so my power can flow through you. Pause, my guy. Hold on. What is going on? I just have your power run through me. And like, where else is everybody else in this bitch? You know what I'm saying? Like, what's the safe word? Where the 911 rape whistle? I just don't understand what's going on in this fucking cave. Like, why your robe open?
Oh my
so anyway. So after he says Shazam and get that juice,
turns a grown ass man.
Tell him, yeah, what type of fucking life energy is this? But you get the bag, right? You get the plethora of all the gods. You get the power of Zeus and the speed of Hermes and Mercury. And
he teleports back to the subway and he basically opens his eyes and there's this dude just standing in front of him. Just all in his face, like, ooh, you made a choice with the red and the white, and I'm like, in the gold boots and all that stuff. I'm like, back up.
Back up. When you get zapped, get these zap powers. Call them. Nah, the naming of Shazam, hilarious. They couldn't come up with the name.
80 different names.
Very Captain realistic. Sparkle very
Fingers.
Yeah. What do you call them? The something boy, something. Thunder Boy or something like that.
And they say Thunder Crack. It was another one. He was like, it sounds like a butt thing.
Yeah, it sounded like a butt thing. That shit was hilarious. I will say this: discovering of the powers, because again, if you just turn to a superhero, you don't know what you can do.
Right.
And look, having some of the most cooperative thugs that rob the convenience store.
Right.
It's like you shot him. Bullet didn't do anything.
Use super speed, takes the gun. The other one is just holding the gun, is like, okay. And now, this is a world where there are superheroes. We've already established that Batman, Superman, Wonder Woman, Aquaman, they all exist. So if you see a dude in this bright red outfit, glowing lightning bolt on his chest, white cape, and you still trying to hold up this story, like, oh man, Batman out there in Metropolis. Batman out there in Gotham City, Superman in Metropolis. We in Philly, so we ain't got to worry about superheroes. And this dude just shows up, and you still go stand there and try to shoot at him?
They got away, by the way.
Yeah, they got away.
Because
he don't know what he doing. He just threw him out the window.
And threw him out the window, and they got up and ran away. But
the fact that he took the gun away and then gave the gun back to him, he was like, yeah, shoot me. I want to test to make sure that I can take a bullet. And then shoot him, and then Freddy is like, oh, well, we don't know if the suit is immune to bullets or if you're immune to bullets. So shoot him in the face. And they're like, all right. Just start shooting him in the face.
Wow. We went from armed robbery to
attempted murder.
First degree murder in a day.
Yeah.
So we already going to jail. Let me just go ahead and add more onto my rap sheet.
Right.
And then they get away.
And not to mention the dude in the park, which was kind of funny because we hear the scream off camera. And so we see we turn and we see the man and woman fighting with each other. So he goes and he super speed runs over there, knocks the man out of the way. And Well, no, he grabs the man, and he's like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I just sprayed him with some mace." He was like, "Oh, I thought that was you screaming. I didn't realize that was the man that had that high pitched scream."
Exactly.
But
she was the hero,
right until he just started losing his mind and he couldn't. He called her old woman, and she's like, "Old woman, I'm the same age as you."
Hilarious.
And
At the
then
same time,
he throws the man, and she's like, "You know what? I don't want nothing to do with this. Take this money. I just don't hurt me. Leave me out of this. Let me go."
She was the hero. Facts, because she had the knowledge enough to get out of there.
Right. Like I don't want nothing to do
now
with
we got Billy Batson, the unworthy successor with superpowers. Montage.
Flossing and
test these powers out.
I gotta hit the floss real quick.
Gotta hit the floss. Gotta hit the super strength. See if we can fly.
Mm-hmm.
We got some leaping abilities. Not quite flight yet. And then
think about how much property damage he caused trying to figure out his powers. They tried. They gave the whole like Superman mantra, more powerful than the locomotive, able to leap tall buildings in a single bound. It was like, oh, okay, single bound. So he goes to try to jump over a building, shorts it by like 15 floors, and just bumps through his people's window.
Shazam! Here I am, learn from Black Adam, fucking door. Shazam! I'm here.
And not to mention the many times he said Shazam when he was like in the mall and all of these other different places. He was in the school. All of these buildings got holes in their ceilings now because of this lightning. That's
all right. He's charging cell phones and overcharged some of them. It makes it all right.
It exploded in one man's cell phone. He was like, what the hell? Property damage. No accountability.
Accountability.
But it makes sense because he's a kid and kids don't think things through. And I say it makes sense very loosely.
Triple loosely. Quadruple loosely. Because I'm trying to understand. Say, all right, so now that we know we got our opposing sides, Billy's discovering his powers. We got the villain. All of a sudden, he knows everything about his powers.
It was just he didn't have to go through no training montage or nothing. He was like, "Oh, I got the 7 sins within me. I can fly all over the damn place." You got to tell me nothing.
Like, oh, you could do this. You know, you could do this, right? Oh, you know, you could do this. Okay, you know, you got that glowing nightlight eye, so you can see in dimensions. I guess I don't know what the glow stick of eyeball destiny told him, but he shows up at the mall, ready to get it on. Like, okay, let's go. Now Billy's still trying to learn his powers at this point, so obviously his best bet is to run. He don't know this guy. He doesn't know what he's capable of doing.
Well, he didn't show up at the mall yet because they're going through all of this stuff, and we get the bully scene the first day that Billy goes to school. And I gotta say that these are the most stereotypical 1980s asshole bullies for no goddamn reason. First of all, they pull up outside the school while school is letting out. It's like, what the hell? Like,
they hit a person.
They ran over Freddy and then start picking on him, talking about, oh, you scratched my truck and I'm gonna take it out on you. And so then that's when they get into the fight, and that's when, you know, Billy runs and ends up going to the subway.
Like, nobody go help Freddy, right. But like, none of y'all gonna step in.
Nobody. Literally, they're just front of the school, full of people, and they're
no
in this
teachers,
big,
no security guard.
Truck is huge. Truck is loud. Everybody saw him pull up, and they saw them hit. They saw them hit Freddy, and ain't nobody do nothing.
In the world of superhero, I guess they're waiting on a superhero to run through.
I guess. Oh, a superhero will save him. I guess the superhero did since Billy picked up the crutch and whacked the boy across his face.
And in the nuts. The funny part about it is he used something that, I'm going to use the term cripple, used to make him cripple. So he made him handicapped with a handicap instrument.
Yeah. But
temporary time.
So they end up
say cripple, huh? I apologize for saying cripple.
I think you can.
It was in the context of the joke.
Yeah, in the context of of the situation, you're not referring to the person as
Nope, I'm referring to the crutch.
right. But
Because he
in ambulatory aid, I guess if you wanna be technical about
yeah,
it.
I just want to clear things up. I don't need the hate comment.
But so
He's saying cripple.
But so they get into an argument because they have differing opinions on how they should go about maintaining Billy's secret identity. Because Freddy, when confronted with the bullies again and they start picking on him, he's like, "Well, I know the Red Dynamo or whatever they call him.
Yeah, Great Guardian or somebody. Whatever.
And he's my best friend. He's actually gonna come and have lunch with me tomorrow." And they're like, "You full of shit." But we'll see. We'll take your word for it. They have no reason to take his word for it because they have no evidence that Freddy knows him at all. But it was like, all right, we'll take your word for it. But if he don't show up, we're going to kick your ass. And so Billy is like,
as if they needed a reason.
Right. As if they have ever needed a reason. But Billy's like, so you tell me that I need to maintain my secret identity, but it's fine when you want to flex in front of the whole school that you know me. And
Who's right in that situation?
In that situation, I think Billy's right. But at the same time, like we said, they're kids and they don't think about what it is that they do. So Freddy is, of course, I won't say he's jealous, but he's envious that, of course, he's the superhero nerd. He's the one that with all the knowledge of superpowers and all this other kind of stuff.
Of course.
So it seems unfair to him. Like, he's getting a short end of the stick. First of all, he's handicapped. He's getting picked on. He's, seen as lesser than by his peers in the school and everything. But now you have this guy who just comes in and all of a sudden he gets superpowers. So Freddy is like, well,
ain't there some
kind of fucked up? But he's like, I'm going to help you.
I would be upset too.
Right.
Like, first of all, you don't even deserve these powers.
You really don't.
Just happen to be at the right place at the right time. There it is. It's just like that. You just so happen.
He literally did one good thing in helping Freddy with his bullies. And Wizard was like, that's my champion.
That's the guy.
One good thing.
That guy right there. I'm going to bring him right now.
Because
he did better grabbing Freddy.
Probably.
Freddy should have had Shazam's power.
He really should have. But I feel like Freddy probably would have still been, did the same thing. But I feel like Freddy probably would have been a better hero. I don't know.
Hey.
I don't know.
I mean, when Freddy got his juice, he was like instantly floating.
Yeah.
He believed. He was already ahead of everybody else. He was already calling out your abilities in real time.
Mm-hmm.
And he took on a sin.
I mean, they all did at equal points. Yeah, I saw Mary kind of hip toss one of them. Eugene hit one of them with the.
He actually missed what I got.
He did, but he tried.
Yeah, well,
he's too busy. He's too busy on the screens. Kid, first of all, we first meet the kid. He's basically going straight up toxic COD player on whoever he's playing, whatever games he's playing. He's just like damn near cursing these kids out online. But we see him when they're going to school. He's got his phone. They're walking across the street, and he's like this.
In his face.
Like this.
In his face.
How do you not get hit by a car? But then we see Mary almost get hit by a car reading her acceptance letter from college.
Yeah, a lot of car hitting. A lot of kids getting hit by cars.
A lot of kids getting hit by... Freddy got hit by a car. Eugene should have gotten hit by a car across the street. Mary almost got hit. First of all, why was that plow screaming down the street that fast?
Hey, here's the thing too. When the car or the truck hit Tesh, and when he was a young kid, where did that truck go?
It stopped.
It kept going.
No, it rolled to a stop. It was about like that much of it on the side of the screen. Because I thought that when I had the same thought, I thought it was just like rolling out, but no, it stopped. But even still, it's late at night. It's a dark road. It's snowing. Why are you flying down the road that damn fast?
It is dangerous in Philly. For just the motor vehicles alone.
And then Shazam got hit by a car. When he finally figured out he could fly, he's floating over the interstate, and then bam, get hit by a car.
There's a lot of car
A
hits.
lot of car
A
hits in
lot
this
of car
movie.
hits in this movie. You got 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah, but so yeah, so they get into a fight, and Billy's basically just using his power. Like, I don't have to go to school anymore. Like, I can be an adult. I can just be an adult. I don't have to worry about going to school. So he goes to the what is it, the Philadelphia Museum of Art or whatever, the Rocky Steps.
Dun, 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 dun,
Yeah,
dun,
and he
dun,
was doing
dun,
Eye of the
dun,
Tiger. He was like,
dun, dun,
hands,
dun.
lightning with my hands, lightning with my hands, and just
Right?
basically getting people to pay him. And again, being a dumb kid, he ends up lighting in the air, blows out a tire on the bus, and bus goes off the bridge. Then he goes and he gets a mattress, the dirty ass mattress, and puts it
Right?
down there.
Oh my God. I
Dude,
saw the urine stains from where I was sitting.
dude is on the windshield of the bus, like trying not to like crack it and fall through it. He said, pull the mattress. He's like, yeah, and then the guy was like, no.
No.
He's like,
Like,
well, I don't know what you want me to do. He's like, this is the best I got. I got a mattress.
this is horrible. You're a horrible hero. Oh my God.
Oh my god.
And end up catching the bus
Mm-hmm.
and putting it down and wanted accolades for saving the people on the bus
The
when it
dog
was
part
a
was
situation
funny.
that you caused.
The dog part was funny.
Oh yeah, the dog was out
It
of nowhere.
was dumb because you're in a 3-dimensional space, right? You got the bus is facing this way, the dog is right in front of you. You could have easily turned this way or turned that way to put the bus down instead of pleading with the dog to move.
Yeah, it would have been even more funny is if he was trying to turn
And
and
then
the
the
dog
dog
went that way, and he turned back the other way and the dog went that way. You're like,
that
come
would have been
on,
funny.
dude.
That would have been funny.
That would have been funny.
Oh god.
So now we got a point that Billy is trying to, be the hero of all heroes,
Mm-hmm.
Shazam. And then again, we got a villain that's motivation to kind of muddle, I want his power, but we never really define a reason why
Right.
he wants his power. Obviously, more power is more power because he said it to his family. This is what power looks like. He's
Right.
standing there with his sins. Here's what I didn't care for. I'm going to say this about this movie.
Mm-hmm.
It's magic versus what is the name of it when Constantine is fighting demons or
I mean, it's still magic, isn't it?
no, it's necrophilia, is
No,
demonic spirits.
necrophilia is something completely different.
Is it?
Yes, necrophilia is necrophilia is a fetish. That is the attraction to dead people.
Ew.
Yes.
Gross.
Now, necromancy is like using magical abilities to resurrect dead people to do your bidding.
But see, this is the thing. It feels like magic is one thing, and then demons and Satan and that is something different. So, am I wrong, or is there one like? Because I won't say that it doesn't exist. Because even in Black Adam, he was fighting a demon. He was fighting a version of the devil, or one of the devils.
I mean, you can say that there's like a distinction between light magic and dark magic, or magic and sorcery. Could be another term for it, because you think of magic like in the sense of, who am I thinking of? Like, because even Scarlet Witch was chaos magic. Like, they have different names for it, what they're doing.
Okay.
So it really just kind of like Doctor Strange is the sorcerer supreme.
We always talking dark arts, or we always talking once we get past Donnie Blades or the parlor tricks and
yeah. I mean, it all falls under that magic umbrella, I would guess.
Okay. Either way,
but I get what you're saying, because the things that Doctor Strange does versus the things that, conjuring demons and all this other kind of stuff is like two different things.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I get what you're saying.
Two different tropes that we pour together in the same picture, and it's oil and water, but we try to make it mix.
Mm-hmm. No, I got you.
Does it though?
I feel like they serve the same purpose. They're like very distinct abilities, but at the end of the day, it's still you're conjuring spells, or because even with that, it's like difference between like conjuring spells, like saying incantations, versus just doing like hand gestures and creating magic, right? Because it's like
we're not doing any of that.
Right,
We're punching and kicking.
Yeah, and you basically just have magical abilities. And I mean, I guess you could say the incantation is him saying Shazam that gives him his powers. But
we got the powers of the gods,
right?
So we're Greek mythology now. So
I don't know.
You see, we don't have time for that. The movie's happening, so we gotta
keep it moving. Gotta keep it going.
You're asking too many questions, sir. but
yeah,
now we got the scenes of the confrontation because this has to happen.
Right.
You know, Tad wants this power, and Billy's not trying to give it.
Right. So
I wouldn't give it either.
No, I wouldn't either.
Well, no, we gotta settle the fight first because we have the you want me to share my identity in a sense to kind of help you out.
Right.
And Freddy's mad. Freddy confronts Billy when Billy's, trying to get some change. I guess he decided not to hit another ATM up.
I guess.
And so he's doing street performing, like handling. And
so he saved the people on the bus. And Freddy catches up to him. I don't know how long it took for Freddy to get over there because that bus that I was like a few blocks away.
First of all, that sounds like a handicap diss.
I'm not saying it's a diss, but we saw when they were running at the end, Billy had to pick him up because Freddy was going to get left behind because everybody's running faster than him. I'm just saying it's harder for Freddy to get around. That's all.
Now, wait, I'm gonna ask this question too, since we're talking about that. We immediately see the Sins decapitate people in the boardroom.
Yep.
Yet and still, when they were fighting these kids, just the kids, not their counterparts, their Shazam alter egos, there was some slight hesitation on killing them or eating them or destroying them.
I think the only way that I could understand or at least make sense of it in my mind why they didn't immediately kill the kids. Yes, immediately eat the kids. While they were still in their human form, was that Thaddeus was using them as leverage in order to get Shazam to agree to turn over his powers. Because I think that you take away the one thing that a superhero is fighting for, then you leave them with like no reason to agree with what you're doing. Like that's the hostage situation. Like if you don't give me the powers, I will kill them. But if I've already killed them and you have nothing left that's like unleash the rage, he might just kick my ass because he has nothing left holding him back.
This is a strong possibility.
So that was the way that I figured it in my mind.
Go ahead and quote the famous Robert Downey Iron Man Jr. Not a great plan. It's not a great plan. It wasn't thought out very well at all.
No.
And hence we are here. So Thaddeus kidnaps Freddy.
Right.
Try to get that information.
Because he sees the news broadcast. After he loses Billy in the mall, he sees the news broadcast where Freddy and Shazam are arguing. And Freddy's in the mall looking for Billy. He's just... Everybody else is running out. I don't know. And another thing, even though that they didn't come up with a concrete agreement on what his superhero name was going to be, every single time Freddy's out there looking for him in his superhero form, he's still calling him Billy. It's like Thundercrack, Red Tornado, Red Typhoon, just Captain Sparklefingers. Call him something other than Billy. And so that is like, okay, obviously he's looking for the same person I'm looking for. So
surprise.
So yeah, so
how did he find us? I wonder.
So
go ahead.
Billy ends up going back to the house, gets in trouble with Vincent. And while he's getting in trouble with Vincent, the other kids are downstairs. Nobody even asked where Freddy was. They just know that Billy's home, Billy's in trouble, so we're concerned about Billy. But while they're in trouble, we see this. There were so many like little side stories for Pedro, right? That never got touched on. When Billy first made it into the house, They saw Darla made a like a poster for him, but she ended up
Right.
ripping it because Pedro's weights were on the table. Pedro didn't move
Right.
his weight. So Pedro's trying to work out. He's trying to get swole. That's what Darla said.
Yeah.
We get home.
Shout out to Darla too, because she kind of carries some of this
Darla
movie.
carried a lot. Darla did a great job. The little actress who her name was Faith Herman. Shout out to Faith. She was doing an
Faith carried
amazing
this
job.
movie.
But
Right.
so we see Pedro coming
This is
home.
us.
I didn't see exactly what the test was. We see Pedro got an F. So
Yeah.
Pedro's having some trouble in school.
Right.
So Pedro takes his test, balls it up, throws it in the trash can, finds Billy's journal. Billy has all the addresses of all the Mrs. Batson's
Non-mothers.
or yeah, people who he thought could be potentially his mom. So we get that. And then later on, after they get transported to the Rock of Eternity and they're trying to find their way back, and they're like, well, how did you find your way back last time? It's like, well, I just thought about the subway and I was on the subway. It was like, okay, well, think of a place so we can get out of here. Thaddeus turns the corner, they all disappear. He's transported them all to the strip club. So
That's right.
They come out of the strip club. Darla's like, why are you covering my eyes? I want to see. And so Mary
they got sparkle. Oh, they got
glitter.
glitter.
I want glitter.
glitter.
Mary's like, nope, not from them, you know. But so they get outside, and Pedro tells Eugene, he was like, not my thing. So they're just like dropping little hints. Pedro's gay. And like all of this.
Let's not say gay. Let's just say he's
Well,
fluid or open.
Pedro's not into. Well, he's not into women. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. Yeah, there you go.
And so they're just dropping all this little information about Pedro, and just we don't even really get like any character development for Pedro.
Character development?
Yeah.
Guess what? No time for that. Got the villain coming over. And we got to move this thing right along, because now we at the carnival and we got to hide and be amongst the people.
But we can't do that because Billy, well, first of all, Shazam is there and everybody's like, oh, it's a superhero. We need to take pictures. And the only way that we can keep Billy incognito is for him to turn back into a kid. But Thaddeus sees, okay, I know what that bolt of lightning is. They over there.
Right? They over there. So let me go over there, endangering lives after lives after lives. What she said,
hundreds of people.
All these people gonna die.
Right?
You came over here,
and so
immediately start releasing sins.
Going back to that about these ridiculously stupid comic bullies that are just mean to people for no reason. They're on a Ferris wheel. They just spit over the side of the Ferris wheel. It's like, oh, dude, I just spit on a baby. Like, why? Like, why are these characters even? Why do they even need to be at the carnival?
They needed to go ahead and crash into the goddamn ground.
And it's like that even
not die. Just crash.
There wasn't even a payoff for it because the real reason, the biggest reason that Freddie and Billy got into the argument the day where Billy was at the steps performing was because that was the day that Freddie said that Shazam was going to be there for lunch and he didn't show up, and so he said that the bullies gave him a suitcase wedgie where they took his underwear, picked him up, and carried him like a suitcase.
Carried him.
And so that came back because when Freddy was the one, as Super Freddy, saved the bullies off of the Ferris wheel.
First of all, that name sticks.
But so he saves the bullies off the Ferris wheel, and it was like, oh, is he giving us a suitcase wedgie? But it's like they said it so low that if you didn't realize they said it, you didn't even pick up on that. So it's like that whole period of like having them, like, because when Pedro is trying to stop the Ferris wheel from tipping over, there's still like 4 or 5 other people still on the Ferris wheel. So we see that he's trying to save them, and then Darla like uses her super speed, goes up, catches them. Not only did she catch the people that were falling off the Ferris wheel, she even punched a Sin on the way out. So Darla was moving. Darla was getting it done. Right. But so by the time the Ferris wheel actually starts falling, it's just the 2 bullies left. And I think Darla did that on purpose. Darla was like, I know what y'all did to Freddie. I ain't even worried about y'all. Y'all can stay where the hell y'all at.
Yeah, I'll come back for y'all when I feel like
But
it.
I just felt like that like even if you're gonna have them on this Ferris wheel, don't say I just spit on a baby. Like there was
No,
nothing
you gotta
about
hate
those
them.
two. There was nothing about those two that made them any. And I guess they weren't supposed to be redeemable. They were supposed to just be hated. And I guess I was supposed to be like, oh well, superheroes save people no matter their personal feelings about it or whatever. Because I
Right,
can't
and that's
imagine.
what it was.
I can't
That's what
imagine Freddie. I can't imagine that being enough for Freddie to get back at them just to save them and give them suitcase wedgies while he's saving them. That it just didn't seem like that wasn't like a comparable thing. Like everything that
Michelle
they've
Obama
done,
said when they go low and spit on babies,
you go high
you
and give them a
grab my.
suitcase wedgie.
There you go. So to get to that point, to chaos pursues
Mm-hmm.
with that trying to get these powers, and it's crazy because Billy got to a point that he realized that I guess he wasn't going to try to win. He couldn't win because again,
Fucking
Billy doesn't know
fucking
what
Santa
he's
Claus.
doing.
Fucking Santa
Oh
Claus.
man,
Because they ran into
since the
Santa Claus
mall.
at the mall and they crashed through. Santa's got the little girl on his lap. First of all, again, going into the dialogue, if the dialogue between the little girl and Santa made no sense. Because the little girl, she sat on Santa's lap and she was like, oh, Santa, what do you and Mrs. Claus do for the summer? And Santa Claus' response to that, he was like, well, you know, Santa Claus is always here for you. And I'm like, that's not what she asked. That had nothing to do with what she asked. And then so Shazam and
Getting
Thaddeus,
too deep.
Shazam and Thaddeus come blasting through the mall. He basically pushes the little girl off his lap and starts running. Somebody save Santa! Save Santa! It's like so they get to the fair and he sees him again. He was like, "Fuck this shit, I'm out."
Yeah, immediately recognize that danger is a suit. First of all, no time for that. We Santa got to get out of here.
Yes. Santa's like, I am not dealing with this again, not twice in one day. Because all of this happened in literally one day.
Right. Facts. So now we at the amusement park, the theater, the carnival, whatever the sideshow show.
Mm-hmm.
Billy decides that he's gonna give up his powers, even though his family is telling him no, because he was being truly a dick to everybody and didn't believe in family.
Right.
Realized that they were more than one Shazamers. Takes the staff and then smacks that with it, knocks him back, and say, "Everybody, grab the staff
And say my name.
Say my name," like Beyonce with Destiny's Child, and they say it, Billy.
He's like, no, say the name that I say when I turn into this guy.
Oh,
Shazam.
And now we all a part of the crew.
Right.
Here's the thing, and I know that we're about to wrap this up because it's a part of the movie that's getting close to the end. We got to touch on the side story, which was the B plot. Billy is on a quest to find his mother, and he actually does get that information about where his mother is, tracks her down, and we get to see that she is, and I'm not going to cast judgment, but let's just say not the best mother in that DC universe, because even though
she's no Martha,
Billy was a she no, not at all. Either version. She saw Billy when they got separated with the police and had an opportunity to go in, but she said her excuses was she was young. Her father had put her out.
She said she was 17.
She was 17, young mother. And listen, I understand everybody goes through their own things. And then before you guys come at me, she was clearly dealing with some trauma. She felt as though she couldn't be a mother. She said as such and felt as though that he would have a better opportunity with someone else and left him, turned her back on him and walked away, clearly seeing that this had traumatized young Billy. How could you not have a gut-wrenching feeling when you seen what was going on? When her whoever boyfriend or fiance or husband at the time asked who was outside, and her response was No one. My heart dropped into my stomach because I was like, wow. And for him to give her the compass,
Mm-hmm.
and she was like, what is this? When something meant so much to him,
And she didn't even remember it.
she didn't even know what it was. Like, wow. So detached
Mm-hmm.
from what he was looking for. For him to gather himself up, because at that point he's like, I got to go back to my family, my
Yeah.
real family, the
Yeah.
ones that actually care about me and look out for them. And then to find out Dad's there saying, come home, Billy.
Yeah.
And then Freddie, super villain, he's a super villain. All right, Freddie, I got you. One of the key moments and one of the most cinematic scenes in the movie, the call to action moment when the hero decides that I have to do something.
Right.
I got to take on this. He runs to the roof, which again, I'm a superhero. He could have ran downstairs and took the ground.
Right.
But he ran to the roof.
Yep.
He didn't say Shazam in the goddamn building. He's taking responsibility.
So he protected that building. Fuck all the other houses. Fuck school.
Mom lives there, so I guess. I don't know.
He was like, even though she said she ain't want me, I'm not gonna mess up her. I'm not gonna mess up her apartment building.
She might call, and report damages. Like, I know it's Billy Baxton.
Right.
So he runs to the roof, jumps off the roof, and that is a cinematic scene because as he's falling, that parkour hold that he does when he says Shazam and sticks his chest out.
Hit you right here.
Kevin Hart will be proud. Yeah,
say
it with your chest.
I would say second best leap of faith moment in any movie.
Are you giving the first one to Miles?
Absolutely.
God damn.
Absolutely.
Man. Miles had property damage with his. He broke all the glass.
Shazam
was in the air.
Look, well, Shazam did a lot of property damage already, so I think Miles Miles' tab on property damage is a lot lower than Shazam.
Way less. way less. In fact, I think the city owe him money for some things that he saved. I'll just go ahead and say that. Let's put that out there. But he flies down into the call to action. Now I gotta be, he's like, I'm Shazam now. I'm going to save my family now. Fast forward to the point where everybody got powers now, and we're a team now, right? Right? Of course, we're a team now, and we got to save this guy. So they realized, because once they was in the cave, that I don't know who threw the batarang.
I think Freddie threw it.
It's a great aim with the batarang.
But when did he get it though? Because the batarang was upstairs in the room, and they had been, because they were already they were waiting for Billy to come back because Billy had ran out. They literally, the parents had just left, and they heard a knock on the door, and Darla was like, "Oh, Billy!" Open the door. Yes. It's Thaddeus and Freddie.
Right.
So unless he let Freddie go upstairs to go use the bathroom or something at one point, because they were all in the living room when Shazam got there.
And then he opened the door.
Then he ended up opening the door, and they went to the Rock of Eternity. So I don't know. Well, they did go to the Rock of Eternity first, and then the kids came through. So I guess he went upstairs and got the batarang, and then they all came through.
No time for that. So we had the carnival, and we realized that we gotta get all these demons out of him to be able to make him weak enough so we can actually hurt him. Because they realized that without the sins in him,
he's vulnerable. He's just a human.
It makes sense. Right? Here's what I don't understand. After we get all the sins out, all 6, not the 7, we finally realized, Billy realized that envy was not out. Envy was still in, giving him, whatever the powers that envy has. So he taunts him to make him come out. Good job.
Yeah.
Because now envy's out, and Thad is falling.
Right.
Hanging onto the side of the building. Envy's on top was Billy about to release them hands, and then Billy like got him, Shazam, and hits him with the lightning.
Yep.
Now, realizing this as an audience member, the lightning didn't destroy Envy at all.
No.
I don't even think Envy can be destroyed like that. The probably thing you could do with these entities is capture them like they were before.
Right.
I don't think they can be destroyed. They're like godly entities. So, my thought was, and I know this sounds crazy, but why didn't he just let that fall and hit the ground?
Because like heroes Batman, don't kill people.
He didn't kill him, but he didn't save him either. And you think about it, without the host, then the demons would have to go back to where they were, right?
Well, they couldn't go back to him. Get the orb out of his eye.
Yeah, but he could just flew right down there and picked it up off the ground.
His face would have been plastered in the sidewalk.
100%. He was a regular guy. You just go ahead and pick that up off the ground. I think that would have been a
little bit too dark for this movie to just let this man fall.
Hey, this is the DCEU, all right? That even Deadpool knows it's dark. It's dark. Just go ahead and pick that orb up and game over.
When Batman is not involved, it's not dark.
I'm just saying, well, he saved him because he's a good hero now.
Yeah.
I guess. Fly back to the carnival and does the same thing. Flies there, land on the Ferris wheel, which is now, and then immediately starts to pull the eyeball out.
Yeah.
The crystal ball out his eyeball. And same results. Except now, he goes to jail. You have to worry about him coming back with the goddamn caterpillar. It gets to a point. Red Hood is right. Batman was too soft on these criminals, and they come back out and just do more property damage and take more hostages and destroy more people. And it's like, you don't put them down. I put them down. They don't get back up. Red Hood. Everybody likes Red Hood because he makes sense. Plus, he's a beast with them pistols.
Oh yeah.
Jason Todd. Respect the name.
We get the final news scene where the newscaster is talking about the 6 heroes saved the day and all of the kind of stuff. Santa comes running around the camera, takes a microphone. This shit was fucking crazy. You haven't seen this fucking shit before in my life. This is like fucking demons. Santa was going off.
Real reactions.
Santa was probably the realest person in that entire movie. Santa is traumatized.
Like, girl, if you don't get off my lap, me and Mrs. Claus is always here for you. That's all I could tell you.
Oh, God.
Off my lap. So now we're in the tomb of the Rock of Eternity, Gibraltar, Rock of Infinity. As a team, as a group, we sit down back and put the orb back. So much of this stuff was set up for Black Adam. Because clearly they look over to the chair and they see there's an empty seat. The question is, who is this chair for? And us, as a fandom, know it's for Black Adam. But here's a question that I got for you, Spider. Shazam has all the powers.
Right.
Lightning, super speed, invulnerability. Invincibility, strength, flight. Does everyone have those exact same powers?
I think they do, but the way that they showcased them made it seem like they didn't. Because they highlighted like a certain part for each one. Like Mary's supposed to have the wisdom, Eugene has the lightning, Freddy has the flight, Pedro has the strength, Darla has the speed. But we still saw them. They were able to, because like if Freddy didn't have super strength, if he only had the flight, he wouldn't be able to go toe to toe with a demon. He wouldn't be able to punch a demon. Darla wouldn't be able, I'm not Darla. Well, even Darla wouldn't be able to punch a demon. We saw Mary do a hip toss. Mary hip toss a demon. The demon was like all wrapped around and she pulled him off of her and like threw him. So that, because I had the same question, because they didn't show it like all of that, because nobody else flew other than Freddy. Nobody else was running fast other than um Darla. So they made it seem like they only had just those one singular abilities, but I think that maybe one of them is just heightened. They have all the abilities, but one of them is heightened more than the other ones. But
Makes
even
sense.
with that being split, that didn't diminish the power that Billy had. Billy still had all
Not
of
at
them,
all.
but it
Right.
was spread out through the rest of them. So they never really like explain that.
It's like Thor. It's like Thor, just for a temporary time and 100% get my powers back. I'll share these powers with children,
Mm-hmm.
make them little mercenaries against demons.
Using goddamn bunny with laser eyes.
Hey, I caught instant the boys laser baby eyes in a peril type of situation.
I guess. But
So
yeah,
now
everything that happened at the end of
since
this
Black
movie
Adam
was
came
just
out,
everything
we
was
gonna
just
forget that.
disregarded.
Exactly.
But will we see, because we're moving towards Shazam Fury of the Gods, where we're still not introducing Black Adam into Shazam. We're dealing with the daughters of Atlas. And so those are your main antagonists in the movie. They're mad because they feel like these children have stolen the power of the gods and they're trying to get it back. So I don't know what ramifications anything that Black Adam did is going to have in this movie. I don't think there's going to be any
Well, he
ramifications
broke
at
the
all.
staff.
He did break the staff, and then they're going to. We see in the trailer that the Daughters of Atlas ended up getting it back, and they make it whole again. So no consequences there, or
We
him
also
breaking the
see the
staff is
wizard back.
inconsequential. Yeah, and his ass dusted away like he got snapped by Thanos, and he's back in the second movie.
There you go. That Thanos snap is something else, boy.
He gave his powers and he just dusted away. And it's
Yeah.
like,
Well,
now
that's what happened when you don't use lotion. You get dry and cracky and ashy.
listen, he's in a dry cave. You saw what happened with his hair. He ain't had no moisturizer or nothing. So the little bit of magic was the only thing that was holding them together.
Hey, that's kind of like how Odin left, you know. That hair get frizzy and you just turn into dust.
At least
Gold
Odin
dust.
turned into golden sparkles when he blew away.
That's what Valhalla is. That's how you go to Valhalla. Which, interesting enough, he didn't meet Jane at the gates of Valhalla. He sent out Hondo.
I don't think he ever met Jay.
Yeah, he met Jane when she went to
In the Dark
Asgard
World?
in the Dark World. Yeah.
I know she met Frigga. I don't remember her meeting Odin.
Yeah, well, she didn't because she was passed out.
Mm.
But Odin saw her.
Yeah, okay.
But Thor was like, fix her. He's like, no.
That's probably why he didn't go to meet her. He didn't like her then. He don't like her now. He was probably sitting in that castle like, what the hell is she doing here? It's like, why is she here?
She died in battle.
Technically, she didn't.
She did not.
She got weakened in battle and didn't end up dying because of it.
So
no semantics.
No time for that. Will we see Lady Sif armor in Valhalla?
Yeah, her hand is in there somewhere, just walking around like Thing from the Addams Family.
That would make sense. She died in battle, so therefore it doesn't make sense at all. That movie there.
They dropped the ball so hard with Love and Thunder.
It's so much that it made an impact on the goddamn concrete. But besides Love and Thunder, we're talking about Shazam. So, Spider, I gotta ask you the question. Shazam, the DC entry, not the TV show that, was earlier. Yes, there was a TV show for those who didn't know.
Yes.
Was it super? Shazam!
Listening to this episode, I know you all probably hear us laughing. We're joking about it. It's funny in retrospect, But watching the movie, I was watching. I even texted Michelle. I was like, I actually didn't mind the movie on the first watch, but on a rewatch, it's just because you know all of the plot points now, and so you can pay more attention to the story progression and everything that's going on. I
Uh-huh.
can't say that it's super. It's still the I would say it's still one of the top movies of the DCEU, but
Oh my god.
that's the top of a very low bar. so,
Oh
so I
shit.
no, I can't say that Shazam is super. There, like every single question that we've had, there was so many just bad decisions made in this movie, just different plot holes, things that don't make sense. And now again, that we've seen Black Adam and we see what's going to happen in Fury of the Gods, it just makes the stuff that you can see that there was no continuous
Continuity.
plan. Like they made a sequel to Shazam just because Shazam did well in the theaters. Even though this is 4 years removed, or almost 4 years removed from the original, it's like they didn't really plan out what was going to happen in the next one. I'm sure they're going to give us some kind of explanation as to why the wizard dusted away and now he's back. But to do that, for people who watch Shazam, it was like, well, I thought the wizard died. Why would you put him in the trailer? To not be able to answer that question until you see the movie. Like, make that
Life
like
in the
a
world.
surprise cameo appearance when you see the movie. It was like, oh shit, I thought he was dead. And then you get
Nah, he
into
just
that.
wanted to get out that cave.
He just dusted away and like disappeared. It's like if he was still alive, he could have given so much wisdom and insight to Billy instead
Right?
of going to another 14-year-old on how to use his powers. He could have talked to somebody who really knew what it was about, could have helped him prepare him for what was going on with Thaddeus so he could at least know that somebody's going to try to kill me. It's like there's
Right?
so many parts of the movie you just leave you
Hey, I'm gonna
questioning.
give you this power, but let me also let you know there's a threat
Right,
out
there's a
there.
threat out
Let's talk
there.
about how to use your powers. Let's talk about what these powers mean. Come
Ain't no
back here for
time for that.
training.
Gotta dust away. There's no time. I give you the powers and I gotta go. Can't explain anything else. No
no
time for
time.
no time for
No
no time for talk. No time for explanations. No time for
I'm out of here.
no time for
Let me.
no time for a backstory except for the little bit of a backstory that I gave you that all of my family is dead.
And think about it, the way they leave from outside of the rock, he just had to think of somewhere else and just leave. So it just
Couldn't even tell him how to get back home. He had to figure that out for himself. No, this movie is not super. No, not at all. Oh, but Mr. VIP Frankie Washington, what say you?
God.
Shazam is
Shazam!
is
That
it
is.
super?
What? No! Oh, indeed, no. Hell no. And listen, I'll say this. It's better than Wonder Woman. Both of them. I'll say that. I
Better than
will say
Aquaman?
that. Close,
I would say it's better than Aquaman.
You say better than
I did not like Aquaman at
Damn.
all.
I didn't like it too much either, so I'll give you that one. It's better than Aquaman too. No, it was a Fast and the Furious type of superhero movie. It was a turn your brain off
Mm-hmm.
and look at these lightning jolts from his hands. That's what it was.
With my hands. Not to say there were some funny parts in the movie. I will give
Yes,
them
there
that. There were some
was.
funny parts in the movie, but as a whole, it was not a
As a
good.
whole,
It was not good.
oh my God, it didn't age well at all. Now, does that mean I won't see the new Shazam? Of course I will, because I want to see if they can learn from their mistakes. Because every movie had. I am not dumping on this movie whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
Would I tell somebody to watch it? Sure, for
Just for laughs, just
SNGs.
laugh for the absurdity of it.
Exactly. Well, we know they wasn't gonna pay Henry Cavill to be Superman
And
at
that
the.
was so stupid when I found out the reason why that Henry Cavill wasn't there, because he was basically saying, I will be Superman. I am totally fine with being Superman, but I would like to have another Superman movie. I'm tired of doing all of this group stuff. Did Batman v Superman, did Justice League. It's like, think it's time for me to be able to do another Superman, a Man of Steel 2. And they were like,
and there's so much you could do. You could have Superman fight Lobo. You could have him team up with Lobo and do something
Lobo,
off planet.
Metallo,
you could do Brainiac. You could do Metallo. You could do so many other things.
There's so many things that you could do with Superman. They were like,
introduce Randall Savage. You know, introduce,
and then it's
Bizarro.
You want, especially Bizarro, and you want to make this bigger DCEU. Brainiac would have been a great villain to have, to be like the next big bad that the Justice League has to go up against. Brainiac would have been awesome.
You have to do Doomsday. You have to do Doomsday. And if you're going to do Doomsday, you got to do Doomsday right. Not this nonsense that Zack Snyder put together.
Doomsday was like a Zod zombie that because they messed up the resurrection of Superman, and because they used Zod's dead body and all this other kind of stuff. And it's like,
yeah, I don't understand.
But yeah, and the fact was Henry Cavill was just like, I will be Superman. I would like to have a Superman solo movie. And they were like, no, we don't know if we want to give you one. And Superman was like, well, fuck you. I'm not going to be in your little cameo then.
Hey, makes sense to me. But it was really, really weird to have him from the neck down to say that it was Superman.
And here's my thing.
It's kind of cheapened the movie.
Here's my thing. So they're in lunch. Cafeteria is full, right? Cafeteria is full. All the kids are in the cafeteria. And so Shazam comes in, and of course he's like hyping Freddy up. It's like, oh, it's my best bud. He taught me everything I need to know about it, being a superhero. You guys should take pointers from him and stuff like that. And then so he was like, oh, I also brought another friend, if you don't mind. Superman comes in with a lunch tray. It's like, did nobody see Superman standing in line? Because you know how cafeterias are, you get your tray and then they like give you a little bit and you go down the line. Did nobody see Superman shuffling down the line, getting his little bottle of milk?
Superman is a line jumper. That's what it is. He jumped the line and probably took the tray out of a little kid's hand and sat down. Superman's a bully of the story. That's what's going on. And how did Shazam get a lunch tray? Look like he came in from outside.
He came in from the whole opposite direction. I don't know. Oh my God.
No, this movie not Super. So far removed from Super. If I had to give it a scale on here's the thing, Spot. If you had to give it a scale on 1 to 10, as far as 10 being super, how would you grade it?
I'd give it like a 4.5.
Oh my God, he's being generous.
Because, like I said, there were some enjoyable moments. There was some good comedy in there, some good jokes. There was some good emotion. Like the scene between Billy and his mom was really emotional. That was actually done really well. The actors themselves, they are not giving off bad performances. It's just the storyline, the script, the dialogue, the things that they have to say. They're not performing the lines bad, but it's just dumb. It's just stupid. And I understand that it's supposed to be from the perspective of a teenager who all of a sudden gets these phenomenal powers and navigating, trying to figure out how to deal with it. But I feel like they lean too hard into Billy being a dick in the beginning of it. And they lean
Why did Billy have to be a dick anyway?
Right. I mean, he could have really just been like, just kind of shut off because like, I don't know these people and I don't want to be here. I should be out looking for my mom. He really didn't have to be like rude and disrespectful, but he could have just been like, kind of just shut off. And it was like, because it's like when they get to school that first time and Darla gives him a hug, he was like, you know, you don't have to hug me all the time. And Darla is like hurt.
The sweetest girl,
and it's like
she's really hurt,
bro. It was like we said, Faith is killing the performance because you could really see like I was just being nice, and even like when he becomes Shazam and they manipulate her, it's like good sisters don't tell secrets. Like you're manipulating this child so she can keep a secret from you. And damn it, Darla kept their secret too. Darla didn't tell nobody. They were even at the
dinner. It
table.
was so awkward because they were like, "You normally don't have me lost for words." And
Right?
she was like,
I'm eating. Darla kept it to the chest.
To do with this.
Didn't tell nobody. And then when they figured it out, you could just see like the relief on it. She was like, "Oh my God, thank you. You guys figured it out on your own. I was a good sister."
Exactly.
And you can see how important that relationship is to her because she wants to be a good sister. She's like, this new person who I've known for all of 2 days. 2 days. Asked me to do something. Asked me to and put a hole in her ceiling. Asked me to do something, and not she guarded that secret with her life. And
this is your champion.
Darla should have been. That's who should have been the superhero. Darla should have been Shazam.
It's like so many other people that
Darla could have been Shazam. Mary could have been Shazam. Freddie could have been Shazam. But we picked Billy for some reason. We give it to the kid who wants to run away from everybody.
Are we going to see any character development in the new Shazam, or are we going to stick with Billy and throwing buses at Dragon?
I don't know. From the trailer, it looks like he's still the same immature kid, and I have no idea. The only character progression I can see is he's more connected with the family now, because we saw that at the end. He actually wants to be a part. The mom,
they abandoned him because when he's at the at the little fast food restaurant, he's talking to
talking to Helen Mirren. He's like, it's all about family, and then
they don't show up.
So I don't know what's going on with that. But yeah, because the mom, when they thought that Billy had ran away, they had the parents had the conversation. It was like, well, we ran away, a couple of times too when we were kids because they were foster kids. They say even Mary ran away, and so it's like you have to allow them to want to call this their home instead of forcing it. It's like, but the difference is, when he comes back, we'll be the first ones to welcome. It's like all of the emotional stuff I felt was like the serious stuff was done pretty well, because even at the beginning, like, we felt bad for Thaddeus because of his family situation. His dad and his brother, who knows where the mom is, but his dad and his brother were absolute assholes to him. So we felt for him in that situation.
She's not around because she might have got thrown out a window too.
Maybe she did. But for his dad and his brother to be an asshole to him, then the wizard to be immediately an asshole to him, you'll never be good enough. And it's like, oh shit. Like, what choice does this kid have at this point but to become a super villain? It's like everybody turning his back on him. And
got no time for love.
it just felt like they, on all aspects, because with Thaddeus and his dad, with Billy being an asshole, with the bullies at the high school being an asshole, I just felt like when it went into people being mean, even with the mom is like, who's at the door? Oh, it's no one. It's like, look, I was in a bad place. And, I like not even like happy to see him. She was like, I figured you would do better. It looks like you're doing good.
Yeah, you see where you trying to go for a hug and she's like,
put his hand. And it's like,
whoa, when it came, you gotta hug me all the time.
Now you see how I feel.
We're not a real family. Hold on now. You just came.
It's like, I'm not really. Just that. I think that's what really hurt Darla. It was like, I'm not really your brother. And she was like, well, shit, I know, but fuck, I'm trying to be nice and give you a hug. You at a new school. I'm just like, look, have a good day. Give you a hug, let you go about it. You know what?
Dick.
But exactly. I wish Darla would have said that like under her breath when Freddie was taken away. He was like, you're such an asshole. But they just went too far with like people being assholes in this movie. Like the bullies running over Freddie with a truck. Yeah, what's up?
Let me ask you this question. We always talk about story here at All Things Super, and we talk about having different types of stories. There is clearly a cookie cutter mold that superhero stories fall into.
Right.
Can you do something like this and have it be successful and not fit into those molds? Because we're looking at an untraditional superhero, a guy that's not really a good guy, and then all of a sudden is thrown upon these powers of the gods and looked upon to be a champion of the people. And to me, overall, it kind of fails in that moment. But is it possible to do this without hitting those beats? Or are we looking at no matter how the formula works, you got to hit these beats? I know, it's a deep, interesting,
I,
thought provoking question.
I think it can be done, and I feel like I've said this before. I think it can be done because I think you asked me the question before. Can we
with the
have
word Shazam in it?
no, not the word Shazam in it. But no, I think the question that you posed to me before was that can we have a superhero property like an original IP and have that be as successful, excuse me, as what we have now with Marvel movies and to a lesser extent the DC movies. And my answer then was yes, I do believe it can be done. And just to your question now, can it be done without following that same formulaic process? I believe it can be done, but you have to basically reinvent everything that we see. You have to show us something different. You have to give us things that we haven't seen before. And I think that there are certain points that have to be hit, but they don't have to necessarily be hit in the same way, if that makes sense. Because I think you can have a story.
So we have to have a sympathetic character, or do we not have to have a? Because that's the mode. You have to have a sympathetic character. He's getting dumped on, then all of a sudden he wants a better situation.
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying the word wrong because my goddamn paralysis. Whatever, and he becomes this great super whatever powers you want to give him.
Mm-hmm.
Now he's going out into the world. He tries to make things right, maybe stumble and fumble a couple of times, learn from those mistakes, get what he wanted, doesn't work out, learn from that, come back victorious. That's usually the superhero trope. Yeah. Right? Because then I'm gotta go through trials and tribulations to become better on the other side.
And while you're saying that, I'm just like going through the catalog of Marvel movies, at least the origin stories in my brain, and I'm like, Iron Man, he got the shrapnel in his chest and realized that his own weapons almost killed him, so that was his low moment. That was a sympathetic moment. He's trying to come back, do better.
Instant says, make something of your life.
Mm-hmm. And Thor had this,
because that was a pivotal part.
Right, Thor had the same thing. Problematic character, very brazen, very brash, very egotistical. Got cast out of Asgard, loses his powers, becomes that sympathetic character because now he's relating to the humans. Ends up sacrificing himself to get his powers back. Same thing with Captain America, little scrawny kid gets shit on. He gets powers because he's a virtuous person. Star-Lord, again, taken from his family. It's like you said, they're all following the same trope, these same tropes. I want to say that it can be done, but it just, from everything that we've seen, it hasn't been done yet. So maybe it can be done. Maybe we can have that progression, and because at the end of the day, you want to care about the character, right? You want to care about this hero. You want to believe that they're becoming a hero and saving people for the right reasons, and not just for selfish gain, like we saw at the beginning of the movie with Shazam, milking people for their money just by performing tricks out in public. And we get this turn because we see that the person who he thought was his family, who thought was going to be there for him, even when the social worker told him, like, you're on this quest to find somebody who clearly has not been looking for you. And it took him to see that for himself, to finally find her and to go up to her and for her to basically to say without saying, I don't want you. I didn't want you then, and I don't want you now. And he realizes that all of these people who are trying to include him in their lives, and I say all of the people, it really was just the parents, Darla and Freddie, because he didn't really interact with Eugene and Pedro at all. And even to a lesser extent with Mary.
Ain't no time for that. We got to move on.
But it took him to see that with his own eyes, and to see that his family, his found family, is now in danger, that he needs to, like you said, rise to the occasion. That's his call to action, that he has to go save them. But I don't any superhero origin story that we've seen in any of these movies, there's always been that fall before the rise, right? And I don't think that we can have a rise without falling first. Because if you have a good, virtuous person who's always good and virtuous from the beginning and they get those powers, there's no conflict. There's no struggle. There's no reason for us to ever think that, well, maybe they won't succeed because they've always been up here. And if they've always been up here and they stay up here, regardless of what conflicts or what, antagonists come across them, they're still going to stay up here. It needs to take something truly horrible to bring them down to the depths in order for them to rise up and overcome it. And that's what makes the story interesting. If you don't have that, then I don't think you have a good story. And so I don't think we'll ever find an origin story where we don't see that, that dip, that conflict of them hitting rock bottom. And even Spider-Man Homecoming, it wasn't even necessarily an origin story because Peter already had his powers. So we already have somebody who is introduced as a superhero. If you never watched any other Spider-Man property before Spider-Man came into the MCU, we see him introduced in Civil War, already Spider-Man. We see him in Homecoming, already Spider-Man. But we don't, until we get to DC, well, no, until we get back to New York, and he's trying to save the ferry, and Tony is like, look, you were doing all of this stuff, you're going behind my back, you hacked into the suit, you're trying to take all of this on your own, you can't do that, you're just a kid, give me the suit. And so that's that dip that he has to figure out how to become a hero without all of these advancements that he got from Tony Stark. And then he does. We see him in the building when Vulture basically drops a building on him. He has to find that hero within him, not just the technological stuff, the gadgets, the resources that he has. He has to see or really has to remind himself, because he was doing all of this before Tony came and got him. So he had to remind himself what made him Spider-Man in the beginning.
I'm Spider-Man.
Right, he had to pull it out of himself. But again, if we only see him with everything that Tony gave him, and he's like just going out and saving people and just doing the damn thing, then it's like, okay, well, where's the struggle for Spider-Man?
Growth.
And I don't think you can have a convincing hero without the growth. And just like I don't think you can have a convincing villain without being able to see what turned them to the villainy side. Because you think of all of the great villains. You got Killmonger. You saw what happened to his father and why he, was so against. We got the whole the social economical struggle where he said, black people are struggling all around the world. Y'all sitting here on this cash cow and not sharing it with anybody. So yeah, I'm gonna have beef with that. Not to mention that your dad came and he killed my dad. Like,
that part.
I found my daddy with Panther claws in his chest. So yeah, I got a chip on my shoulder about this whole country.
Yeah, you know what's shitty about that? The Black Panther claws were tracked.
Yeah.
So if you got Panther claws in him, when did he detach him? It's like, yeah, let you know that was me. I did that.
And not only that, first of all, it's your brother. This is your brother. Like, yeah, he lost his way. He's selling vibranium. He's going against the rules of the country and everything. But did you really have to kill him? He pulled out a gun on you, but your suit is bulletproof. That's not the first time you've been shot at as Black Panther. We get into the whole other thing. But to answer your question, I can't foresee. Like, I'm not a writer. I'm not into creating these stories. But
I agree with what you said. There's beats that you have to hit, but you don't have to take the traditional road to get there. You can take other ways to get there and still have your story interesting.
Yes. But will that happen?
Not with Shazam in it.
No, not with Shazam in it. But will that happen? Because I mean, we're still gonna get multiple. I mean, you look at the catalog of heroes in all comic properties. We still have so many more people that we have not even began to think about introducing. So there's plenty of time to create stories for characters. Yeah, and I'm not even talking about just DC specifically because I don't remember who I was talking to. And it might have been you who was talking to. It was just like they're like Spawn. Spawn had a movie back in the '90s. It was like I feel like Spawn would be a great property to revisit this day and age with
Yeah,
the
Tom McFarlane's
advancement in
working on it.
yeah with the advancements in cinematography and VFX and all that other kind of stuff. It was like, do you remember when you first saw Spawn and you saw like the mask like go and go over his face and everything? Like, can you imagine
Of
how
course.
good that would look today? And the like
Of course.
the cape that can become like
The
any like
sentient cape.
concrete
Yes.
like concrete like structures and all this other kind of stuff. It was like it'll
Spawn
be great.
is badass.
Spawn is badass.
Period.
But yeah, so who knows what other characters have yet to be introduced that we can see, brought to the big screen. And like all of these reiterations of Batman, we haven't really even seen. And because I'm looking at the scrolling banner that we got going across our layout here, I'm looking at the Young Justice poster. There's like all of the characters from Young Justice that we haven't touched on. All of the characters from the Young Avengers that we barely got introductions for, and we can see their stories, come to fruition. So we got characters, and it's just and I'm sure that there are, because we've seen in She-Hulk and we see in Moon Knight that these characters have these different origin stories that they're not necessarily, like we said, they're hitting the beats, but they're doing it differently, right? There are different aspects of it that we haven't seen before, and that's what makes things a little bit more interesting. And the more we do that, I think that, because superhero burnout is real, we have what, like, had like 8 properties coming out this year between movies and TV shows for MCU, and
Well, Kevin did say Kevin
that
Feige
yeah, they're
did
gonna
say
they're
they're
gonna
gonna
reel it
slow
back,
down.
yeah, which is probably the better thing. But then you also have shows like Daredevil, which is going to be more like what, 21, 22 episodes in the entire season instead of
I thought it
like the
was
standard.
18.
Is it? Anyway, it's more than like the 6 or 8 that they've normally been doing. Whatever, it's in double digits. It's more than 10. So, but
Yeah.
we may slow down on the number of properties that we number of different properties, the number of different heroes that we get shows and movies for given throughout the year, but we may extend like the number of episodes for the show. So we're still getting content. We're just not hopping from show to show every 6 to 8 weeks. So
Yeah, it's not gonna be able to be sustainable because I'm sure I'm quite certain that at some point these shows are gonna overlap.
yeah,
You're gonna have a Daredevil, you're gonna have a
Echo.
Echo, you're
Mm-hmm.
gonna have, some team up movie and then some Hawkeyes or something, all running at the same time.
Right.
Maybe different times, but at the same time,
I mean, and they tried to do that, even though they said it wasn't canon anymore. But when Captain America and Winter Soldier came out, it came out right in the middle of a season of Agents of Shield, and they tried to incorporate the two and try to interweave it by having the scene from Winter Soldier when Bucky basically like put the bomb under Nick Fury's like Humvee and like blew him up. Like they interwove that into Agents of Shield, and so you can do that. But then I think if you do that, you're alienating your audience that only watches the movie.
mm,
And I think that especially with some characters, if you haven't watched all the TV shows, you kind of miss out going on in movies. Because like if you didn't watch WandaVision, then you don't know exactly how Wanda got hold of the Darkhold and Doctor Strange and Multiverse of Madness. If you didn't watch Loki, you don't understand how, what's why Loki is with Owen Wilson at the end of Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania. So yeah, you're missing out. But the thing about it is, like, I've seen people complain like, oh well, Marvel is making it so hard for people who only watch the movies to keep the stories interconnected. And
And I want you to know something. This is official from Marvel. I just got this. They don't give a shit. They don't give a shit. Your homework is to watch the TV shows, and if you don't watch it and you don't have Disney Plus, they don't care. They're still gonna keep doing it that way.
And it's really up to the person who's consuming the media if you want to.
This just in. Marvel also said, "Ain't no time for that. Got to move on to the next property." Got it. I told them. All right. I just need y'all to know.
But yeah, but it's really up to the viewer. If you want to know more about it, if you want to be like up to date on everything that's going on in these properties, even if you don't subscribe to Disney Plus and you don't watch it, you can read up on it. You know, you can
better go to YouTube, and some people do the recaps. We do recaps. And
we do recaps. We do breakdowns. We connect the dots. So watch us. There you go. Watch all of our other colleagues and the breakdowns that they do.
Watch this. Look at that.
Don't watch that.
Look at that right there.
That has nothing to do with anything.
And now you know. Shazam!
But let us know what you thought about Shazam and what you hope to see in Shazam Fury of the Gods. When it releases, we will be doing a breakdown and a review of that. That's this week. So if you're watching this when it comes out, just know later on in the week, Shazam Fury of the Gods is going to come out. So if you want to check that out, go check it out and then come back and let us know what you thought about it. Let us know what you thought about these actors, the plot. See if they've improved on it in any way. But let us know what you thought about this video. If you agree with what we're saying about what are you about to say?
What?
I don't know.
What I'm about to say.
You look like you're ready to say something.
I am going to say something. Now, if you really want to have fun, go back to the top of this video and take a shot every time we say Shazam.
I don't condone that because I don't want anybody to get hurt. Don't
do that outside your house.
Don't leave your house afterwards. We don't condone underage drinking as well.
Shazam.
Stop it. Wait, what? When you kill somebody.
Underage drinking.
I said we don't condone underage drinking. Don't drink if you're underage.
We do not. But if you're a grown person,
drink responsibly. That's all we gotta say.
Right now.
But anyway, if you like the video, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you can be notified when we have new episodes that come out. If you want the audio version of the podcast, just search for All Things Super on any of your major podcast streaming platforms. And if you want to join in on the conversation, just tweet at us at ATSuperPod.
And leave a comment. We like reading the comments. Hey, this is the best part of your day watching this show. It is our pleasure to bring you great conversation about stuff that you probably didn't know and stuff that you did know, but it's great to have a conversation about.
Absolutely.
That's all I'm saying.
100%.
That's all I'm saying.
Well, like I said, next episode, we will be back with Shazam Fury of the Gods. We'll break that down.
You said it too.
Because I'm saying the title of the movie. I'm not just saying it. Just saying it. But thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you in the next episode. And keep being super.